Great rise and beautiful beings. How's it going? So, I want to sneeze. That's one thing. Ooh, that's one thing about being up north. You don't need no AC. But imagine the wintertime now. Let me switch it up. Okay. I had to get my face from the air and stretch. So, I notice when you eat nothing but plants, you sleep faster. You sleep faster. 8 hours turn to 4 hours. 8 hours turn to 6 hours. You have to start exercising to sleep 8 hours. And today, I want to talk about nanoparticles. The assimilation of nanoparticles. I'm assuming we all got nanoparticles in us. It's just how they go about assimilating. How active and resourceful they are within the body. You know, I've been studying the Matrix. And I think I've heard a long time ago, like, the Matrix is what caused them to get rid of landline phones. Some type of portal. Some type of frequency. That's why they want your voice over IP. It ain't just about you being traced or monitored. Their goons and goblins are able to work inside of their parameters, like their Agent Smiths, right? And that landline was something sacred. So, when I speak of nanoparticles and I speak of the Matrix, they're getting you up to the speed they need you. Okay? All that aerosol white dust, why you think the first agenda they pushed on us so heavy dealt with our respiratory system? You spray us for 10 years and the first agenda deals with our respiratory. Unbelievable. And then imagine it assimilating in your brain with your neurons. Imagine you got the matrix, you got the landline, but one thing they ain't got rid of is the radio. You got all this internet, you got all this Sirius radio, but you ain't got rid of the analog. Tell me something good, revereskye. You was quick to get rid of the landline. The landline was a threat. It was a portal. But you think about that radio frequency. Think about the radio frequency. How you can change it and manipulate it, fine tune it to be at different frequencies, right? They don't want you to get rid of the one thing that they turned on that they never turned off. Radio waves, Bluetooth waves, Wi-Fi waves, all of that is a radio wave frequency. Look at the back of your modem. Look at the antennae. Look at your phone. Look at your phone. Everything is some like hertz, some type of kilohertz, some type of megahertz frequency. So they're showing you that phone, that landline was sacred and it benefited humanity to some degree. But the radio wave frequency, any data wave frequency can be used or weaponized to benefit them. So when you got the V2K, the voice to skull, intrusive thoughts, intrusive sounds, intrusive visions, you got the cell phones and the algorithms picking up on your thoughts and visions without you speaking a word. Now they've figured out the frequencies and the sounds and the waves coming from your body, and they're streaming the data to your phone, and the phone is sending the data triangulating the data to a cell phone tower, which relays that message to their servers. It's still not faster than your own quantum leverage, your own quantum thought pattern. It's still, their processor system is not faster than thought. So then you have to step into your power or who you are. And you have to decipher between what's spiritually, intuitively coming from source energy and what's artificially coming from their intelligence. So we're dealing with devil's advocate and source energy at the same time. And you could tell when they drop the frequency or drop the shield. They allow you to dream in places that you ain't been in a while. All of a sudden you got access to all these supernatural places you never had access to for months. And then when they want to learn your powers or how you move or how you think, how you quantumly take action, they put you in a construct with no restraints, no parameters. And when they need to build a construct and they want to use you as information, it's about like how Neo and Morpheus just all of a sudden enter a clean room. I call it a clean room, like a laboratory, but in the Matrix, right? And when you enter that room, it has parameters set. They can see how they give you a body that fully has no restraints. And they see how fast your mind moves, just like Lucy. But only difference is Lucy had to take a drug and you don't. They know under circumstance, if you have a 100% operable brain or body, you're unstoppable. They have had people in the construct that had the same attributes as the body I was able to use, but their psychic abilities could not levitate them. Their psychic abilities could not let them fly. They know when you're different. They know when you're different. They don't let off of you. It's like a waterfall of, it's like a waterfall of ambushing that never stops. If I could actually see it with my own eyes, I would say there's at least 30 some tethers that they're monitoring just from this biosphere. They know who can move with their mind. And they know that your vessel is limited. Certain things are atrophied. Certain things are shut down. Certain things are dormant. And as long as they keep that fucking frequency up, as long as they keep the vibratory rate and the frequency of the planet down, as long as the Schumann resonance is like a millisecond off, they've learned that if you're not in the right environment, that if you're not in the right space, they could keep you at bay. But when they give you that body in the construct, because all you need is your mind, and you moving around like you supposed to, at your own free will. And when you wake up from them dreams and you look at our society, you can actually strategically see everything they're doing to us, from media to programming, from society, from infrastructure, from laws, from legalese, from the planet, the rhythm, the vibration, the frequency, the water, the air, how they terraformed. Like, I've been talking about the sky being a hologram since that moon came up. I remember the first time I was outside and I was a young girl and I could see the moon. It was different. They had put that hologram up. I had to be at least 12 or 13. They know who can use their mind. They know who have access to source energy. They know who don't have to have access to Zion through drugs or anything like that. It just come naturally. Now, don't get me wrong. You got people that put themselves in a state of being where they could move amongst this frequency, and they still able to manipulate the frequency. They're jammers. Okay, they have jammers. They have frequencies that jam you. Okay, they got frequencies that record you, your data. They want to know where it's coming from. What is it doing? How is it doing that? Where is it tethered to? We're tethered to a lot of invisible strings of frequencies. Like, we have an atomic structure. We have a hydro structure. We have a fire structure. We have a lot of different structures. That's why they try to keep your core frequency so low. I call it the pilot, the light. If they keep the core frequency low, you can't ignite and you heal yourself at a certain rate. But if you open that core frequency up and allow that pilot to turn into an actual flame, full flame, and you do your grounding work, your meditation work, your qigong and your chi and your prana and all that, things change. No matter how much of a frequency they jam, things change. Because a fully functioning vessel, you become a lighthouse, you become a light bearer. And when you become a light bearer and you don't limit your mindset, the force will choose you. The force will choose you. And the force will come inside of you and fully engage with your oversoul, your enemy, and will repair the cellular structure to work in its favor. But I'm going to tell you something. When you train yourself to that much discipline. Don't look back. Because when you get curious, you get to wondering, you start to do low vibrational shit, it's not going to always be readily accessible to you. Because at that moment, it chose you. You was also being recorded by Agent Smith. All these data monitors. All these frequency monitors. All these anomaly watchers. When it chooses you, you're actually supposed to go and train. When it chooses you, you're actually supposed to go and train. We're at a time right now where they're monitoring us. They're recording our data, our transmissions, our feedback, receiver and feedback all day, receiver and feedback. How the data flow from us. And they're recording it in supercomputers. And they will slowly start to fine-tune that frequency to the point where it limits your capabilities. Remember, there's a guy, I posted it several times, there's a guy that said he wanted to take our essence, our God energy, our source energy away from us. They want us to be like an automaton or a robot. They want to be able to manipulate and control us. And don't be strong. They got different pursuits to their happiness. Strong-willed, supernatural powers. Like I say, they will bring a waterfall of trials and tribulations to you. They start with your psyche. Because if you don't have the ambition and the drive, the free will and the power to do what you want to do, they start to be intrusive. You could be eating you a nice banana pudding, not banana pudding, not banana float. Am I trying to say banana boat, the ice cream or something? Like you could be enjoying life, smelling the roses and the bees, and either AI or your data handler will send the most fucked up shit across your head. There's no way you would have ever thought about something like this. But they're there to throw your love and your heart space off. They don't want you calibrated. They don't want you synchronized. If they feel like you're going to get any type of leeway, they'll start force feeding you news to make you scared, anxious, fear mongering. Have you noticed that we get Google feed on news? Like, why am I getting all this Google feed on news? Why? Because I'm in Florida, all of a sudden you want to talk about bacteria in the water. Why are you so scared of a person being in their own atmosphere? The bacteria in the water in Florida can't be no worse than them skiing on the Hudson River, jet skiing on the Hudson River. Where the hell all that waste and sewage gonna go? Like, that's pure shit and piss coming back into the waterways. And you got people out there skiing on the water. Jet ski. You gotta think about it. You really gotta think about it. When they converted to 3G and smartphones, they knew they was able to shut down. Oh, I can't turn that way. That air cold. When they came up with 3G smartphones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, they was tapping into your frequency. They had to get above the curve. They had to be able to scientifically record your data to see how to jam your frequency. See, they didn't know which hertz and what powers to use. But once they had a device that could record you and see what pitch and frequency your organs at, see what pitch and frequency your brain at, see what pitch and frequency your eyeballs at, I mean everything. They can fine tune you to be what they want you to be. That one man they said miraculously disappeared that kept sending out a radio wave frequency, buy cake, eat cake, buy cake. He's something about 90% of the people that came to the event brought a cake. And they say they don't know where the guy is no more. Spoke about the technology, what he did, he disappeared. They do some sloppy and messy stuff. Sometimes they can't help themselves. But I noticed one thing. Memorization is different since nanoparticles. And what I mean by that is like your processing, your CPU within your brain is different. It's louder. It functions differently. And the sound never cuts off. The sound is on. Now we're at the point where the cell phone don't matter anymore because they're able to triangulate you without that device. You could just walk And as long as there's a cell phone tower by, it's going to triangulate the microcomputers in your body. You know, I was raised in a military town. I got a chance to see it all. But there's one I want to talk about. I was thinking that it was drugs, but I didn't quite understand. They had this guy barking and meowing all the time in the military. Barking and meowing. And he would do little combat shit like a ninja. And I'm like, didn't y'all say he acted military? They said, yeah, he acted military. I said, but he barking and meowing. I used to think it was drugs. But he could do it just from drinking a beer. And then he'll put his fist out and do some ninja shit like, no. I'd be like, oh, Lord. What happened to him? And then to think about the frequency. The smart dust. How every New Year's the clubs would get shot up. How they had the indigenous of that area east against west side. The town ain't but so big. What you mean east side against west side? North side against south side? And then, I would say about a year or so ago, an associate of mine said, Sky, wherever there's military, there's bullshit, there's drama, there's trauma. A bunch of STDs, infestation of drugs. It's just very corrupt. He said it's something about when a militarize a city and the real city's still there, the hood's still there. It's different. He said those are the people who bring your drugs and diseases into your neighborhoods. He even talked about how they're the ones that's probably setting the rules and the tones of the city. Like you thinking you talking to somebody from over here, but you talking to a military operative from over here that's running your city, that's running your hood, the one that's dropping everything off. They talk about it. And then I remember it was this other associate who was awakening just out the blue and was like, you know, they ain't running in people's houses and busting people no more. He said they letting everybody go to sleep. They letting everybody nod off. It's like a ghost town. Oh shit. They letting everybody do this. And the motherfucker who ain't nodding is the motherfucker who killing. Imagine that. You have over 52 deaths in a year. You ain't even got 1 million people. You ain't even got 500,000 people. Cesspool. So I'm going to leave it there. Maybe, just maybe, this video is able to help somebody. And I'm not talking about the people who want to oppress us. I'm talking about is somebody out there one day that will really need this message. Our DNA ain't so dormant. You got metals and toxins and pollutions strategically put in place to limit your reality. Because if you were fully functional, 100% at your own free will and power, they wouldn't know what to do. That's why they started from the air and worked their way down. That's why they started messing with the resonance of the planets. That's why they did the Hiroshima. Stay wise, stay vigilant, okay? I am one with the universe. I am one with creation. I am one with the universe. I am one with nature. Unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free.